to a video that everybody worldwide is going to hate. I'm just like Etika. I do believe that essentially that I'm like a god, but I don't believe I'm a god, I just believe that I'm highly intelligent. In fact, I believe I'm a super genius. There's multiple reasons to why. Because I can prove every human being on this planet wrong, with every single ideology and belief that they currently have, including things that are relative towards government, specifically relative towards things involved with infrastructure, government, and politics. And I know this because I have the evidence to prove it. I just can't show it because I don't have a fucking PC. So I encourage you to do the research yourself, but I know that's not going to happen. Yeah, I'm calling out a lot of people here. I don't give a fuck anymore. I am tired of the world's problems happening repetitively and no answer being used. So, Democrats, you have the tools for the answers. Fucking use them. Republicans, stop being pussies whenever somebody tells you that you're wrong. Democrats, same thing, but also use your goddamn tools against people trying to prove that you're wrong. But you don't, because you're just very emotionally invested. Same as I, except I'm kind of allowed to be emotionally invested when I'm basically saying everything relative towards the facts, and I'm not even throwing my opinion into the table on this. So let me go a little bit more into detail. Okay, I'm going to use my Tucker Carlson voice a little bit here, because, fuck it, alright? So, where do I even start? Alright, that's a good fucking question. Where do we even start? Alright, within the educational system. So what do you do when you go to school? Well, you work. What do you do when you work? You write down on your paper. What does that do? Nothing for you. It just helps you become a little bit more intelligent towards the subject you're talking about. However, they just want you to work. So even if I didn't do any of the work, because I didn't do any of the work in my school, the government system is probably going to be looking at me, especially when it comes down to high school, like, oh, I'm not going to be effective for doing anything. Well, here's the other thing. If the educational system was free, then maybe people would be able to be smart, and the teachers would actually get paid more, for actually teaching people about how to be smart. For example, teaching people about how infrastructure and economy and all the politics involved actually get used in that. But no, that's an option you have when you get in high school. For example, psychology, being one of the most important things in the entire world, is not being taught to kids once they learn about puberty. Yeah, sure, a kid in the 5th grade can learn about their penis and their vagina, not being told about how many holes they have in their own penis and vagina, so they believe that there's only one hole. But psychology is too strong of a subject for a kid that age to handle. But you're willing to teach them about their own penises, and that they can come. Yeah, good. Good to see how the world works. All right, next subject. So, adults. Most of you adults are pretty fucking stupid, because you're all ignorant to your own opinions, believing that you're more right than any kid that you see, because kids are stupid, is what you say. And I can agree with that, except this kid that you're hearing right now, not stupid. I'm not even retarded. I'm not even anywhere close, because my IQ is 157. So if you really want to fuck with me, go ahead and start trying to prove me wrong, which you can't, because I have more than enough evidence to be able to back it up. And I know I'm talking incredibly fast, but that's because there's no other there's not enough time to be able to explain this. So I'm trying to get this over as fast as I can with the amount of proven information that I can without my opinion being involved whatsoever. So I'm going to go ahead and go over to stuff like adults. So what do you do when you wake up in the morning? You go to work, if you have a job. And what do you do at that job? You work in your work. What do you do when you come back home? Well, you wait for that paycheck at the end of the week or at the end of the month. Well, what about the fact that the only reason why you get the paycheck at the end of the day instead of every hour that you work is because they need a reason for you to come back to the job so that way you could keep working. Well, that kind of leads into my ideology that the government system does not give a shit about us. At all. Even if you believe it does, no, it doesn't. Nor do the politicians involved. I don't believe Biden gives a fuck about the American people. I don't believe anybody gives a fuck about the American people when it comes down to politics and government systems. So, I have to individually try to change every single one of them. But I'm going to tell you how they don't care. Well, there's more than enough evidence to do so, even though they say they care, they don't, because if they ever did actually care, the events that would have been repeating themselves for the last 20 years, for the last 80 years, would have actually been changed. So what are these events? All right, so let's go back to the 1920s. Infrastructure and economy crash. All right, in America, yeah, but worldwide, there was a lot of Black Lives Matter protests, especially in America, but the issue is, they got shined out. 20 years later, 1940s, World War II happened. Another infrastructure crash. Guess what happened after 1942? Not a lot. Just another riot. Okay, what about that? What about in the 1950s and 60s? Oh shit, the Stonewall riots now. Gay people are finally fighting for their rights, but also black people are too now. Again, for the third time. All right, now what about 20 years later? LA riots in 1980. Black people are fighting for their rights again. Stonewall riots, shit like that already happened, but still gay people protesting for their rights. Why do we have to keep protesting for our rights? Oh, because they're being taken away. We wouldn't be protesting if they weren't taken away. So stop fucking saying that it's not a big problem when it clearly is, because people are only protesting because their lives are being directly affected. In some places, I can't go get a job because I simply like dick in my ass. That's all it takes. Really? Really? I don't even express to you my sexuality. I don't even talk to you about it because you're my fucking business. You're the dude who's supposed to have me work for you. But I'm not going to work for you. One, because I'm intelligent and you're just using me, but that's a different topic. But the thing is, 1980s, LA riots, went by, nothing changed. Then, early 2000s, guess what happened? We went to war again, this time in Afghanistan, giving the Mujahideen bombs and shit in order to steal the oil from their own country, which then they realized that, decided to hate America and all the other countries involved, and, now they're putting bombs on 8-year-old little kids' chests just to be able to prove a point. Which their point is, they hate all the other forms of politics because their religion is right. Which leads me into my next point here in a little bit. But 2020. Oh boy, what a good next 20 years we're gonna fucking have. Thanks, humanity, for this. But let me go into detail about what's actually going on. Okay, so these 20 years, we have a worldwide virus going around killing more people effectively than any war we've had for the last 20 years. But the issue is, we didn't really have a war in the last 20 years, but we did. But we didn't. It's really hard to describe. I'll go into that topic in a little bit. But essentially what's happening is worldwide economical crisis. The world is being plagued. And we're all sitting here pretending like it's non-existent. In fact, it's gotten as far at politics are so badly tied into everything around us. Misinformation is so easily spread. Only because of the ideology of the First Amendment. Fuck the First Amendment. You can believe what you want to believe, but as soon as you start saying what you want to say, it's very obvious that people are going to start pretending like what they say is actually what they believe in order to spread false propaganda like Tucker Carlson does. Like Donald Trump himself. Even Biden to an extent. Even Pelosi. Just anybody in politics. They all say things relative to their own opinions and beliefs, so that way they can actually grab attention from people with individually like-minded psychological states. Let me go into detail about a little bit of a subject here. So, this is all going to be believed as crazy by every human being talking about this. I don't stand for any form of politics. I believe every politician on this planet is corrupt, and I believe every form of government needs reform. I believe everything in between needs reform, including the psychotherapists, the doctors, the fucking police officers. Oh yeah, don't just ignore me when I'm saying this, okay? Let's go into the police officers. So we have Spartans and Banditos going around abusing innocent black people like I said earlier, but the issue is that they don't get charged. They can in fact drop their charges because they're a cop. Yeah, so if you're a cop, and if you're a serial killer, go be a cop. Because apparently, at least when you're a cop, you can get away from being a serial killer. Yeah. Shows how America is when the person with a badge and a gun is so mentally unstable that when they see a black person, they have to raise up their iron sights and line it up. I am emotionally biased, fuck, that's not the right term. I am biased. But it's also because I'm tired of not being one. Bias is okay. At least when the bias has a lot of factual evidence to be able to back it up. So let me etc. that topic for a second, and let me go on with what I was originally stating, okay? The Spartans and Banditos. So the police force. 58% of the police force is actually good people, but the 42% are fucking terrible. 12% of that 42 are usually the ones who go around implanting evidence in people's cars despite them never have using that drug before or any drug in their lives. Then they get charged, and then they go to jail, which causes an innocent person to go to jail because a cop wanted some fucking money. I'm sorry, but being a police officer shouldn't be counted as a goddamn job. Especially when you got a gun in your goddamn holster and you can kill somebody. It should be treated like the military. It's not just a fucking job. It's absolutely not just a fucking job. It should be treated like being an EMT. Except even fucking doctors and EMTs take advantage of the innocent by, oh, we're going to do an x-ray on you? Look at those 32 broken ribs. We're going to tell you only 5 of them are broken. So that way later down on the road, you can say that you have more problems and, we can take care of those for you because we knew what was actually happening the entire time. But, we didn't. But etc. at that point. So, basically, everything I'm about to talk about is basically what everybody agrees and disagrees with. And the reason why is because everybody's right and wrong. That's why I hate everybody now. Because it's either my life or theirs. I either let the entire planet become better by trying to change it despite me not having any college credit. Because here's the thing. The way the system works. So right now. Oh boy. So right now. Specifically right now. Okay. Let me go into... How do I explain this? Let me go into the belief system and how the belief system could actually be used to manipulate people. So one, if you're a religious person, you're told, at least in Christianity and Catholicism, or whatever it's called, to not question anything. To not question everything. to actually suppress you wanting to question everything. And the reason why is so that way you can live a happier life. A lot of those try to help you live your happier life. Except here's the issue. When your life is directly impacting others because of your beliefs, for example, Christians believing that all gays are going to go to hell because they like dick in the butt, but a pedophile who rapes and abuses an entire family of 5 people doesn't? Oh, nice to know that a pedophile has more forgiveness than me because I like dick in my ass. Oh, great. So you're saying being a pedophile is better than liking dick in my ass. Good job, Christianity. Good fucking job. Next point. Because that one's going to piss off a lot of people, but I don't give a fuck. The truth always hurts. And I'm sorry to say this, I know I'm ignorant. I know I'm very emotional. I know that I'm technically crying people a river, but honestly, you can fuck off with that goddamn opinion, because here's the thing. These things haven't changed for so long. We have 50 years to fix our problems, and most of us don't even live till 50. So, fucking cry me a river, you little baby-ass bitch. So let me go into my next subject, alright? So, this is gonna piss off so many people. God. So I'm gonna use Trump supporters as an example. And even North Koreans. So, let's go with, first, North Korea. So you have Kim Jong-un, elite of the elite, right? He has a few tiny amounts of people that has all the money. All of his people are starving, having like barely even enough money an hour to be able to actually live off of. In fact, less than China. China pays their people 7 yen an hour average. That's fucking horrible, because $1 is equivalent to 7 yen almost. I think it's, what, $1 American dollar is almost $4 in China? That's fucking horrible. That's absolutely horrible. But we don't care, because it's not us that it directly impacts. But let me tell you this. It does. Now let me go into my previous topic, where gays are being directly impacted by belief systems from religious people, all right? So if you go around believing that people that are gay are gonna go to hell, right? And you start going around telling every gay person that you see, you're going to hell, they're gonna start disliking you. You wanna know why? Because they know that they're not actually that bad. And you people are going around defending pedophiles and willing to forgive pedophiles, but as soon as I like dick in my butt, oh my God, I'm gonna die. Really? Oh, really? So God is also mentally fucked up? Because I would argue that God, that Christian God that you guys like, is fucked up beyond belief. Not only is he influencing bad people to do bad decisions with the power of Satan, but also he's part of the reason why all the bad things are happening in the first place, because if there ever was a God, he would be putting a stop to it, especially if the entire ideology behind that specific God you guys have is to be a positive light. But he's not. He actually wants bad things to happen, because there is positive benefits that can happen from bad things. But the thing is, I don't believe there's a God. I don't believe there's a God at all. Because if there was one, bad people would not have all the power in every country in the world, except for places that are anti-fascist, like Sweden and Germany and Ukraine. Those are the only 3 countries that I can name off of the top of my head that I know 100% aren't fascist. And you know what's funny? Germany had Hitler back then. But that was almost 80 years ago. So, fuck you, America, with Hitler, because you guys almost had a Hitler. Trump. Yeah, that's gonna piss off a lot of people, and I don't give a fuck. Cry me a goddamn river, because I bet you I would build a bridge large enough and more effective than you can ever fucking imagine to get over that shit. But let me tell you this. Okay? He was trying to rally up a bunch of people. Specifically, he started off with Democrats back in 2016, and we didn't like him. So he started going after the Republicans. He even said in interviews himself, Republicans are dumb and easy to manipulate. And guess what? You guys saw that footage and were like, no, that's not him. Kind of his point exactly. So let me go on to this, okay? Most of those Republicans are fucking retarded, but let me tell you how. Their educational system in those areas specifically aren't teaching them about racial discrimination and homosexual discrimination and stuff against. They're just teaching you, 4 + 4 = 8, and 8 is all you need to know. Okay? All right. So what's 4 × 4? 8. No, I said 4 + 4. No, but you said it's 8. No, 4 × 4. You see my point here? It's fucking stupid. It's stupidity. The example that I used is actually kind of fucking perfect, because it's as fucking intelligent as most of the people on this planet. And I hate it. I actually fucking hate it. I'm calling out 7.8 billion people, including the people watching, because everybody is part of this problem, including me. Especially since everybody could take care of this problem, but because, one, we're also in a war, most of us are in economical crisis, and a lot of us are barely even able to handle our own psychological state because of the lack of attention to them in the first place, it's kind of a fucked situation all around. And people are going to call me insane and stupid, even though I have more than enough evidence to be able to back up every single claim that I've stated in the last 30 minutes. Well, 14, because That's how long this video has been recorded. But, point aside, I've been doing this research for 4 years. I know what the fuck I'm talking about. Question is, do you? Because I doubt it. So, let me head and go on to the next subject, which is lack of attention to psychological states. The reason why people want you to believe what you want to believe is so that way if you find something stupid to believe in, you believe in that stupid thing, so that way you become a vulnerable and less intelligent person to take advantage of later down the future, in case if anybody ever needs to. Specifically towards the government. The government wants dumb people to use, because the more dumb people that they have, the more experiments that they can have. And the more experiments that they have, the more things they'll figure out for themselves, and only themselves. They're selfish. They're fucked up in the head. And honestly, the world only revolves around money, so that way we have something else to focus on. The world is only bringing up racism and being racist to each other so much, so that way we have something else to focus on, etc. A lot of fucking problems. Even Ukraine has racism. Why is the world of white people so fucking ungrateful? Why is the world of white people in America, too, so fucking toxic? Again, lack of education, lack of care, lack of respect, and most importantly, severe amounts of ignorance. Again, I know I'm being ignorant, but I kind of have to be contradictive in this statement. Because, my God, is this way too big to fucking talk about in one video. But I digress again. Let me go on to the next subject. And I'm only partially explaining these things, by the way. But I think I'm doing a better cover than I've heard on most media platforms. So, let me go on to the next thing. Most people that receive information find it on social media. Oh my God, I found this post on Facebook and Twitter that said this and this and this. Fuck off. Do your research, because you clearly didn't. Facebook and Twitter are not how you find real information. That's how you become a fucking mentally deranged, insane, unstable, stupid motherfucker that is easy to manipulate and take advantage of. Do you not want to be that label? Because it's a fucking long one. Then change. Change for the better, and not just for yourself. Stop worrying about the money in your wallets and start focusing to collectively how to stop making money a problem. Let's get rid of cash. We don't need the world to be paid for. In fact, I hear the argument that nothing we should do is free. Why? Tell me why. What benefit do we get out of paying $985 million for a fucking vaccine every single time we need to produce one? Tell me. Because there's no benefit. If we had free electricity, free ability to do literally anything, including with schooling, then people would actually be intelligent, and with intelligence, we would start evolving humanity. So tell me, what benefit do we get out of having to pay billions of dollars for every little fucking thing? There is none. Because there never was one in the first place. So why is humanity collectively putting money ahead of everything? I don't fucking know. But I'm willing to die on this hill and say that every single one of you are stupid, and we need to start moving on, because if we don't, we're all going to die in the next 50 years. We have 25 years to clean the trash out of the ocean, and with every 1 year wasted, that's 3 more years we have to waste cleaning up the trash in the ocean. And every 3 more years we have to waste, the more time we have to spend doing this, the less time we have for ourselves to focus on our economical crises, and not just the economical crises around the world, all the geological issues and the scientific issues involved. So let's go down into what the fuck am I even talking about, right? So the ice caps in, Antarctica and shit like that are melting, only because the amount of microplastics that we have put in the ocean are equivalent to even a fucking tank. More than tanks. Like, we could build 47,329 tanks out of just the plastic in our ocean and make them effective with 357 millimeter armor in the front hull, and still be able to ricochet rounds from fucking anti-tank rockets out of the fucking plastic due to us being able to compact it so much because of how much is actually in the ocean. And we're saying that it's not a fucking problem. We could build almost an entire small fucking asteroid. No, a large asteroid with the amount of trash in the ocean, because we have over 2.4 billion pounds of it in there. And again, the only reason why we're not supposed to focus on this is because if we do, then the government does not have a reason to try to save all of us. Because we are their slaves. We're not being whipped, we're not having our Achilles tendon fucking split open, but we definitely are being fucking manipulated and treated like absolute dog shit just because we're homosexuals or just because we're gay. And I'll tell you this, if you're a black citizen in America, it's really fucking hard for you. Not only are you guys being herded like cattle into a small place in places like Detroit and LA, but also you guys have racist fucking police gangs around there that are taking advantage of you guys and specifically targeting you guys, while most of the white people in America don't even believe it's a problem. including a lot of Democrats. I would happily rep the boys in blue, but if 42% of the boys in blue, which is over 300,000 of them, by the way, are going around and attacking innocent people because they don't simply like them, then there's a lot of psychological issues within this crisis that people aren't focusing on that are clearly an issue that nobody really cares about and is going to cause the entire world to die. And I'm sorry to tell you this, but I told you so. Not only did I predict a war was going to happen in Ukraine, not specifically Ukraine, but around the Asian countries, I figured something was going to happen there, but I didn't expect this. But it turns out my hypothesis was still right nonetheless, which means I am more intelligent than I thought, which also means maybe I'm not just being cocky and I'm just being fucking pissed off. Because I am. The world's problems, I'm able to snap my fingers out of existence, but I don't have the power to do so. I will never have the power to do so because the world revolves around money. I have two choices. I can spend all of our lifetime fixing the world's problems, the 50 years of my life, going to college just to prove that I'm smart and effectively not be able to use any of the intelligence, or I can start trying to use all of my intellect right now, but be called a literal retard just because I don't have college fucking credit and I'm not wasting my life to gain intelligence I already fucking have. Education needs to be free. I'm sorry to say this, but yes, most of the systems in the world should be fucking free. It's for our survival. We're in a survival state still. We will never leave that. That is something that you humans are too ignorant to believe. Oh, we have a government system, so we don't have to survive. Why? Tell me why. There isn't a reason. If we want a government system to help us make it so that way we can survive easier, or so that way we don't even have to try to survive to be able to exist in this world, then maybe I would like to say that I am wrong. And maybe we would have more positive benefits coming towards humanity if that was the case. But it's not. That's why I'm here being pissed off about this. Because there's way too many humans on all sides of the political spectrum, all sides of the governmental spectrum, saying that a lot of these issues aren't even the issue. That's 58% of the population, by the way, and only 42% of the real actual population that actually notice these things are being called crazy conspiracy theorists who are just stupid. So, I could kill myself and nothing would change. Nothing would fucking change. And just like I heard that black person say, she could burn every fucking building in the United States to the ground and the white supremacists wouldn't treat her any different. Even if she decided not to and decided to try to go into politics, she would get rejected from politics just because of her skin color. So tell me that racism is not an issue. When people every single fucking day, whether they're women or black people or gays, gay black people, gay black women, tell me how all those people aren't being discriminated against when every single day the only thing that we hear from the people against us is, hey, you're a piece of shit because you like dick in the butt. As funny as it sounds, it's actually fucking stupid. Effectively, those people that believe that, I'm willing to say this right now, I'm willing to commit mass genocide against. They don't deserve to breathe the same air as us. But that's my personal opinion, because effectively, these people have caused so many fucking problems for the last thousands of years humanity has been existent, and they're not going to stop because they care about themselves and only themselves. Now that is a proven point. They only care about themselves. But my opinion is that they should all be killed for it. Because effectively, they're putting other people's lives in danger. My life is basically ruined because I'm gay. What? Because you think it's a decision? You think that I'm doing it because I would rather have dick in my butt instead of putting a dick in a pussy? No, I don't see vagina as fucking sexually entertaining, okay? And I don't really care that much about sex, especially when sex isn't the main part of life. And again, that's a problem with furries too. They're very sexually active, but then again, most of them are 18 to 25-year-olds, so that's understandable. Doesn't make it okay? No, but at the same time, it's really not that bad of an issue. But the fact that politicians are willing to say, all these furries going around being sexual deserve to die, and they go around and start committing Proud Boys to do the action and say, hey, Proud Boys, go attack this group. They do it, and then we get in trouble for it. Us gay people get in trouble for rejecting their attack. There's nothing else I can say. I'm literally going to fucking kill myself at this point because there's no other way to change humanity. Nobody's going to listen to the opinions that I say because they'll just see it as an opinion. They'll see that I'm angry instead of acknowledging why I'm angry. Do your research before you comment down below this time. I suggest anyone seeing this video do so. I know this is a very aggressive video, and I know it's very based, but again, at this point, I am tired of letting the world die just because people don't like somebody. I'm tired of letting the world die around me and seeing innocent people being killed and taken apart, body, like piece by piece, limb for fucking limb, literally, just because, what, they're homosexual? I've seen a video recently, especially recently, in places like Russia, where there was an innocent black person, not even, like, completely black, too. Like, they weren't even, like, African-American dark black. They were, and again, not all African-Americans are dark black like we imagine them to be, because a lot of you guys don't even know what other countries look like. There's a lot of white people that are Africans, but they're not, like, super white. But that kind of leads me into my point, where that none of the skin color things matter. So why are we treating it like a big issue? Well, here's the reason why. Because people think it's an issue, so they treat us horribly for it. I'm fucking white as a goddamn anything white could ever be. But, you know, I'm still being treated horribly because I like dick in my butt. Like, at this point, the world is so fucked up, it's not even worth saving. I'm willing to let everybody on this planet die, if that means I get to have the infinite amount of resources to go colonize another planet myself. I'm sorry to say this, but most of your beliefs and ideologies are flawed, human race. And I would also happily say fuck all of you, except for the fact that I acknowledge the reason why a lot of you guys think this way. It's because you were manipulated. You were believing that the stuff that you heard is true. You're told consistently not to question things. That has to end, regardless if you want it to or not. You have to wake up to that, regardless if you want to or not. This is no longer a decision. This is a we have to, or we're all going to die. And again, people are just going to see this video and say, oh, it's a furry being based on the internet. How surprising. Great. Nice to know I just wasted almost 30 minutes of my life talking to a fucking black screen, hoping something positive would change. But again, that proves my point. If I kill myself, that's the only time my life is going to matter. And I think that's a good point to leave it off. If you see this video, share it. Because, again, this is a worldwide issue. Every form of politics, every race, every religion, and in fact, just every single inch of humanity. So let's rally up our troops. Let's fight against the real bad people, and let's stop letting bad people have 90% of the power. Let's give every human being individually on this planet the same power as a politician through voting systems. We all collectively vote on what laws we want. Why don't people think that's a good idea? Salutations to all. Hope you learned something from this and do your research. I encourage you to do so. And if you can disprove me, go ahead and do so. I'm warning you, though, it's going to be hard. Good luck to all, and I'll see you soon.